Hello, hello. It is Mrs. Red here, and it is a Thursday night again, which means it's drawing night. Now, I had difficulties last week with my streaming. It did not stream to YouTube, and I have no idea if it is tonight. So, if nobody turns up in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to send someone a message and see if she is able to log on. Actually, I've already got 2 people that have logged on, so I think we are actually working tonight. I'll bring up my chat bar as well, so please say hello if you are here, and that you can see obviously me, you can hear me okay, and that you can see the image of Julia. Should be everyone's left. Yes, good, excellent. You were the one I was going to call, oh, well, not call, but text to see if it was going to be live, Kelly. So thank you. And I have no idea how this has happened, but I've actually got Mary. I can actually see her on a little screen, which I've never had happen before. Wow, that's crazy. That's really good. All right. Well, and Daphne as well. Hello. What's today? Thursday. Have you received something in the mail, Daphne? I think you should have by now. So anyway, let's get on with it, because we're not here just to have a little chit chat. The way this works is I'm going to be flipping over to this, which is the webcam, which will just view straight down. Yes, thank you, Daphne. Beautiful. I'm glad you received that. Well, yeah, thank you to your gorgeous daughter. So I will put it onto webcam very soon, and we will you'll be able to see what I'm drawing, and you can hear me. One day I'll have a second camera set up so that you can also see me, because quite often I really wish people could see me drawing, because I'm forever looking at my reference picture, which I will continue to remind you to do. So Mary, I hope you've got your pencil and paper ready to go tonight as well. I think it's very cool. I have no idea how you've appeared to my left, but you have, so that's very cool. All right, okay, I'm going to change it over to the webcam now, and you have a blank piece of paper that you can see, and there's Julia's face. Hang on, let me just get rid of that camera. Now what I'm going to do tonight, I've actually got the zoom quite far out, so it's almost at A4, but when I actually start to focus on her eyes, which I'm doing first, I will actually zoom the camera in. But just for the initial drawing, I want to just have the camera zoomed out. The other thing that you won't see, you just have to trust me on it, is when I'm drawing the, hang on, I should be using a pencil for this. When I'm actually drawing the face up, I will be drawing very lightly, and it's too light for you to see. So draw along with me, listen in, keep looking at the screen, because you'll see where my pencil is, but your first little sketches should be very light. And for Daphne and Mary, a great way to make sure that you are pressing lightly is to stick your arm out in front of you and tickle your skin with your pencil. And that should feel really nice. And that is as heavy as you do your initial sketches. So bear that in mind. You want to do a very light sketch to start with, because you're going to make little mistakes and you're going to be wanting to rub them out. So the pencils that I am using tonight are the Staedtler Lumograph range. I've actually picked up a 4H. I have a ton of them. There's probably about 20 pencils here, all in different weights. So I'm using usually from the F, which is just lighter than the B. Sorry, it's just lighter than the HB. so it's quite hard. F right through to, I think I usually go up to the 6B, which is quite dark, but it's also very soft. And then I've got the blending tool. If you haven't got one of these, it doesn't matter, but it is a good item to grab. This is the number one item that you want to grab if you haven't got one yet. It is not a ball of blue tack. It is a kneadable eraser. So it comes as a little square, but this one here is probably close to 20 years old, I reckon. And how they don't pick up graphite and dirty it really badly, I don't know. Kelly has got a new one, and I would imagine that Kelly, yours looks exactly the same color as mine, which has been used to death. The great thing about this eraser, it doesn't do what, say, this one will do, which is one that you rub out like this. This one you can mold into a really fine point. You can get a really, really fine point on it, and then you can dab that down onto your paper and pick up little bits of graphite. So you've got a lot of control with a kneadable eraser. So definitely grab one of them if you can, or grab one from me. They're not actually on my website. That's one of I have a lot of stock that is not sitting on my website, and it's just purely just time management, getting everything done. All right, so we will get started on tonight. I do recommend to anyone who is watching this after the live to have a look at there's 3 live videos that I've done post this one, which focuses on the nose and different shaped noses and different angles, the mouth, including the teeth, and then, of course, the eyes. Now, with any artwork, doesn't matter if it is mixed media, drawing, painting, collage, and it doesn't matter if it is an animal or a human, if you don't get the eyes correct, then there's not a lot of point going forward, because it is the focal point of any painting, any drawing. It is natural for us as humans to look straight at the eyes that are in a painting or drawing. So, and a great example of not feeling like I got the eyes right is this one here. And this is the one that I did last week of Julia. There's her, oh, it's going to blurt it out. There's the black and white I had of her. There's the start of it. Now, this was the night that just didn't go live, and I had no idea why it didn't. But it never actually made it onto YouTube, because I do use a third-party streaming service to do this. I actually have to, like, it's part of doing YouTube lives, is you've got to do it through a streaming service. So I do not like these eyes. I did not get it right. And I think it was because I actually wasn't settled into the night. I was rushing to sit down, and the whole idea behind Thursday night drawing is that it is just a really relaxing evening where you just chill out and draw. And this image I've blown up, and it's a little bit pixelated, and it was just hard to draw. So we're scrapping this Julia, and we're starting again on the one I've got here. Now, the good thing about this one is, you've got a colour copy. If you've subscribed to the website, which, Mary, I think we still have to get you subscribed to that. But you also have received, that looks really light, but it's not. Hang on. This one will make it look really light. Yeah. So you've also received a really dark one. Now, the difference between the colour one and the dark one is you cannot see her eyes in the dark one. They're just black circles. We're not using the black and white one for doing the eyes. We're doing the colour for the eyes and also her jacket. So you can see her jacket there. It is just black there. So we're going to be working with two of them. I haven't done that in the past, but it just, when I printed it out in black and white, it just, yeah, her eyes just went quite dark again. This one was the first one I printed out, and her face is pretty much how you can see it there. absolutely toneless, like no tone at all. So that's another reason why I darkened it, so that we can see the shadows, that we can see those little shadows in the nose there. We don't have to worry about the eyes. We'll also use the colour copy again for around the neck and where the hair meets and everything, so it's too dark on that one. All right, so enough of me talking now. I will set my timer. I'm going to be drawing for an hour. So we'll see how far we get in the hour. Let me just set my phone timer. 1 hour. Get yourself some music happening. I do have some jazz playing in the background, but you won't be able to hear it because my microphone is pointing towards me. It is just free YouTube jazz, and it runs for 8 hours, so it's perfect. Now, the other thing that I am not restricting myself to is trying to get the same size drawing as per my image. So I'm actually going to, I actually did it on this one. That is almost the same size as the sketch. And I actually want to make it bigger because it's easier. It's easier to draw bigger. So I would prefer to almost make her hair come right out to the sides of the pages. So I'm just not going to restrict myself to getting it to actually fit the A4 sketchbook that I'm using. All right, so I will be using my F pencil to sketch up. Now I'll just very briefly, a few things about the face. To do the shape of the face, you're roughly drawing an egg upside down, and then the eyes end up in the middle of that egg. So if you think where Julia's eyes are there is the same distance that way as there is that way. And that is, that's where a lot of people will go wrong straight away. They'll throw the eyes up here. And then what is really interesting about the face is if we then put a line through there and a line at the bottom of the chin, and then if we put another line straight through there, we get to the bottom of her nose. And then if we half that line again, she's smiling, so it's going to make it a little bit difficult. If we half that and put another line in there, that is where the mouth, the bottom of the mouth usually is. But because she's smiling, her lip has dropped a bit. All right. Now, the other interesting thing, which with this one, yeah, it still matches up. So where the pupil is, again, she's smiling, so it's just a little bit out. You can run teardrops down to the beginning of or the edges of the mouth. So that's a really good way to get all your proportions correct. So that's what I will be doing, which you won't be able to see because it will be too light. I'll be doing up that sketch, just roughly getting so that I can just have placement. And the other thing is that there is 5 eyes across the face, and this is a really good example of it. So you've got her 2 eyes there. There's usually the distance of a 3rd eye in the middle there. And then there's also another eye on either side of the face. So again, and I will go through all of this as I go along, but that's how we work that out. All right, did I start I did, yeah, I've started the hour. All right, so let's get started. If you need to use the image, Mary, you might need to use that image. It's blown up fairly nicely there. And I hope that, yeah, I have got focus, good. I was a little bit late. I was 3 minutes late to going live because the camera wasn't wanting to focus. And I was thinking, no, here we go again. Anyway, all good. Okay, so I'm not going to do the egg shape. I'm literally going to just do like an axis line being straight down the middle of the face on a little bit of a curve. And that will just give you that. She's looking straight at the camera on this one too, which she wasn't on the one that I chose last week. She was a bit off. So a nice light line which you can't see, through there. And again, through the center of there, I want a hair. Yeah, I want a hair to be right up here. So I'm going to start my axis line right up the top of the page. And I might sort of like end her, oh, you can't see that. So there's the bottom of the page, and I'm going to sort of like get her chin to be around about there. So I get a little bit of neck in. All right. So between my 2 points, I need to find roughly a middle ground in between there. And I'll put an access line through there. You can faintly see that. Then again, between that line and the bottom there, find sort of roughly the middle again. And remember, you're tickling the page. You're not pressing hard at all. And if you can use a fairly light pencil, sort of like a HB, an F, or even a 2B, that's perfect pencil. Don't go any darker than that. And then again, we're just doing a bit of a quick access line through there. So you can kind of see those little sketch lines, very faint. Very easy to be able to rub out. Okay, so now that I have done that, I'm just going to jump over, like you won't, I don't think you'll be able to see this, but I'm just going to bring the zoom up. For a minute then I didn't think it was going to zoom in. Hang on, let me put my pencil, I'll put my, okay. All right, we'll start there. Ooh, that I might have to drop Julia down a little bit. Or, no, that should be fine there. I just want to be up close so that you can see what I'm doing quite close. If that's too close, let me know and I'll zoom out a little bit. Okay, so you've got your reference pictures. Mine is just off to the side here. You can just kind of see it. Just take a quick sip. I'm on the non-alcoholic gin and tonic by Gordon's. They're selling it in Woolies and it's amazing. It tastes exactly like a G&T. Loving it. All right, let's start on the eyes. So don't worry too much about that third eye at the moment because we don't know roughly what our eyes are going to be. The size of the drawing is almost going to be determined by the size of that first eye that you do. So roughly remember that we've got a line going down there. I don't know, no, you can't really see that. We've got a line going down there. So you want to just try and map it out. And you're drawing kind of to the bottom of the eye. So you're not going directly through the eye. You're going along that bottom eyelid just. Now, I'm going to be drawing the eyes like I would normally draw an eye, which starts with an eyeball. Kelly will know about that because she's watched that video. I think she actually drew along with me on that one. So probably for the purpose of the exercise, if you haven't drawn eyes for a while or before, just follow along with me, which is you're drawing the, I think it's the iris, the dark part of the eye up first. Again, very lightly, so you're just tickling the paper. And then inside that, you're drawing the pupil. Now, the pupils are looking straight at the camera, so they will be dead in the middle of that iris. And this is going to be determining the whole size of this drawing. So if I don't like this eye and the size that I'm drawing it up, I'm going to change it. I'll rub it out and change it. I'm not going to keep going with it like I did last week. Okay, so there's your pupil in the middle there. So you've basically drawn a donut. Now you can start to look at, I'm just going to bring this one back. Now you can start to look at where the eye cuts off the iris, as long as I'm saying the right part of the eye there. So it cuts off the top of the eye there, still drawing lightly. And look at the white and get that same shape happening. Keep looking at your reference photo. I know we all know what an eye looks like, but you're not drawing an eye, you're drawing what is in front of you. And it should hopefully turn out like an eye, but don't think of it as an eye. So I'm just doing the other side now as well. Just sketching, you're not doing any detail as such yet. It's all just light sketching. We're just mapping out the drawing. And it leads this way. If you don't get the eyes right, you don't have to continue. You can start the drawing again because it's all in the eyes. If you stuff the eyes up, there's no point going on, which is what I felt like with last week's. There was a reason why it didn't link to YouTube. And I had no idea. I sat there happily for an hour and a half chatting away, wondering where everyone was. So I actually feel like I've got the outside of her eye too, it's too big. So I'm just going to correct that now, bring it in. And the bottom of her eyelid is actually quite straight. So I don't want to have too much of an angle going on there. Just needs to tuck in a little bit easier. There. Now that eye will determine that axis line that's going down the page as well, because to me that looks like it's bang on exactly where I need to start the next eye. But it won't affect the lines going across horizontally, just vertically. Okay, so I think that eye is fairly good, but if anything, without really wanting to, I am kind of drawing almost the same size as my image, maybe a touch larger. But that's all right. So I'm just going to rub out my little guideline down here now. I don't actually need that anymore. I'm not going to put another one in. So I've just rubbed down there. Don't need it anymore. Kind of looking at roughly the distance of an eye to start this eye. And I'm starting exactly the same way with the eyeball first. So it will be roughly about here, I reckon. So that's there. Starting the eye about there. This is the other hard thing, is getting the eyes the same size. It's only the eyes and the eyebrows that, well, her ears aren't showing, so that's good. But yeah, everything else is only one of. 2 eyebrows, 2 eyes. I'm just going to make sure, because one of them looks... I'll keep going at the moment. Yep. get those pupils right. Once you get all these little bits all done, then the shading and everything starts to move on quite fast. Not fast, but at a good pace. You kind of feel like, what? This is going to take me forever. Okay. So remember to keep looking at your reference picture. And draw the shapes that you can see, not what you think you can see, because that's where you go wrong. Is when you think you think you're drawing, let's say that mouth, and we all know what a mouth looks like. We all know what teeth look like, but if you don't actually keep looking at your reference picture, you go off track. Okay, that looks kind of hard to work out whether that is right or not, but I think there's pretty much that distance between those two there. So I'm going to now just erase my outer part of the eye that's not needed there anymore, and start on I'm still using a 2. Oh, I'm actually using a 2H. I thought I was using the F. No wonder you can't see what I'm doing. Actually, I might just swap to the H, which is just a bit darker than the F. And I'm just starting to get in some shadow lines along the top of the eye. Actually, with the bottom of the eye there, you've got to have that little skin bit that from where it hits the eye and where, hang on, I need to go back to 2H, where it hits the eye and where the eyelashes start. There's a little bit of skin there that you... Okay. And then on this eye, very, very faint. So that's where the kneadable eraser is really going to come in to its own on these little fine bits here. Again, we're not trying to draw an absolute masterpiece here. We're having a go at drawing a portrait from scratch, not using a grid, which I have never done before. I've always used a grid. It's just a comfort zone, I guess, just always drawing a grid. So I'm kind of going solo here on my first drawing without a grid as well. So just drawing in a few more guidelines before I start shading. Just keep looking at your reference photo. Yeah, a little bit of dust sitting there then. All right. Now, if you're following along or watching this afterwards, when it comes to things like the hair on the eyelashes and the eyebrows, they are done absolutely last. You get all your shading, all your highlights and everything in first. The other thing that I've got to do before I start getting into the shading is these little highlights in the actual eyeballs. So I bring the sheet back over. These two little highlights, both of them actually go inside the pupil. So with that in mind, I'm just going to use my kneadable eraser straight away And just, if you don't have a kneadable eraser, any razor will do. You're just taking out a bit of the graphite from the pupil, because that little bit of white will be left completely white. We will do the whites of the eyes in very lightly, but that little highlight gets left completely white. So I'm going to put that in with a 2H. And it's kind of hard to see on this image. It's kind of like a bit of a triangle. Both of them are. This one doesn't sit right in front of the iris, in front of the pupil as much. So you just want to make sure that the inside of that highlight is as white as it possibly can be. And then a good way to get into the drawing, I'm going to just go to a 2B. Where's my 2B? Is actually fill in the pupil. So just fill that in now. 2B, 4B, 6B, whatever you've got. That is just a black ball. Good way to start the warm-up of the drawing. And yes, you're applying a bit of pressure now. Okay, so it's really hard to know if this is looking like her at all at this early stage. So they're done in. So now I'll stick with my 2B. And I'm just going to continue out with the iris now. Start light and just draw in, just put graphite down basically. Don't go too heavy. It's very easy to add dark, but it's very hard to take it away. So you just take your time doing this. She's actually got, and it's easier to see on this coloured printout that she does have a brown ring around a hazel eye. So that's good for when you're drawing in black and white, or graphite, I should say, because it's just going to really give it shape. I feel like I need to either put the fan on or open the door a bit. I'm starting to get a bit hot in here. I've got my studio lights coming down on me. And even though they say they're LED lights, they still give out heat. Okay, so I've just shaded in that eye. It goes a bit out of focus. There we go. Shading in that eye, and now I'm just going to build up. You've got to use a bit of artistic license on this as well, just because the image is not really detailed of her eye. And start adding in some darks. Never rush it, and just take your time building up those darks. Just like acrylic painting, graphite drawing is a layer process. You just build up layers and layers and layers, as same as with coloured pencil. Watercolor is very different. Once you put watercolor down, once it's dried, you're done. It can be very unforgiving. Okay, so that's adding a bit more there. Fortunately, we can't see. Hang on, there's a knock at the door. Bye. Neil's just gone to pick up our son from work. Oh, he's left the damn footy on. I can hear the footy in the background. Oh. Should have told him that. I feel like I've gone too dark on that eye. I'm going to leave it and go over to this one. Can always take a bit off with my little needleable eraser. I can make the pupil darker too because I only did that in a 2B. Either someone dropped out on me or I have got a new person watching. If you are a new person, say hello, tell me where you're from. But it could have been one of the ones that was watching. I hope I don't jump out either because we've just got the dodgiest internet service out here in the valley. Plus the kids are at home and they're all on their computers. I think starting with the eyes as well because they are fairly standard as in like their shape. They are round eyeballs and you've got the pupil in the middle. Wherever that person is looking is where the pupil is going. It kind of is good as the warm-up. Just like when you're exercising, you do a few warm-up exercises to start. The same is with drawing. You should just ease into a drawing. Don't ever just start out cold on an area that's really obvious. But yeah, drawing these eyes in, it's kind of nice. Okay, so I've done that. I might drop back to a H. I'm just going to add a little bit of shading to the whites of the eyes. I'm literally touching the surface. I'm using a very light pencil, but you just don't want it to be white. So I'm being very, very gentle. Treat the paper like it's a little baby's newborn skin, and you're just tickling their skin with your pencil. And you don't want to wake them up; they're sleeping peacefully. So you've got to go as gently as you can. Nothing worse than waking a baby that doesn't want to be wakened. And just put a bit of darkness in there. Okay, go back to my 2B. I'll just get my mouse out of the way. Okay, just adding, yeah, so I'm just going to keep continuing on. I'm just playing with the eyes in general, getting the outline, getting a few darks. Just remember, you're not doing the eyelashes or the eyebrows until you're 100% happy with everything else. They go on very quickly, and they have to be done last. You can see in the corner of her eyes, it's all dark there anyway because that's where the eyelashes are. So you can go quite dark in that area. So 30 minutes. I'll just see how I'm going at the 30-minute mark. I'm not going to just go time's up, but I kind of want to do an hour a night. Any questions, just remember to type them. I do keep looking up at the screen. Just remember to keep looking at your reference picture. You're not drawing Julia Roberts. You're drawing shapes, shadows, highlights. But the reward at the end is you actually have drawn a human's face that hopefully looks like Julia Roberts. She's got a good face to draw. Not all pumped full of filler or anything. And yes, there was comments on my Facebook post this afternoon from my father and the mother of a friend from school who both made comments about thinking I look like Julia Roberts. And I never saw it. But when she was Pretty Woman back in 1990, I was in year 12 and I had exactly that hair, that long curly hair. And everyone's like, oh my God, you look so much like Julia. I do not have her mouth, that beautiful, big, wide mouth. I do not have that. But still, great compliment. I'll take it. Okay, so I'm just pretty much playing with both eyes at the moment, just adding little highlights here and there, little detail. Still on the 2B. Always have a sharp pencil too, never let it get blunt because it's just not good. It's like using a blunt knife when you're cooking. It just will put a big jagger through meat and stuff. Okay, well, they're looking like a set of eyes. Don't quite know if they're Julia's yet. Let's see. I might move to the 3B. I'm very spoilt here by all my pencils. There we go. I need to send a text message to my daughter to tell her to turn the TV off. I can't stand hearing that. There we go. Now my cat wants to go out, so I'm going to have to open the door. I have a cat who literally lives in a cupboard. She's a rescue cat who was put in a box on the vet's door, and they put a post out, and it was about 3 months after I lost my black cat, who was 19 and a half. I had to put her down. And about 3 months later, this black puss cat got dumped on the pet store with a note just saying, please find her a new home. And she's a very, very scared cat, so she lived a very sheltered, horrible life for about 2 years. They think she was around about 2 years old, and she lives in my art studio / office in my cupboard. It's kind of cute, but still it's not really much of a life. She never leaves this room, but this room has a door, like French doors that lead outside, and I think she loves me being in here at night time, but she also wants her door open. So I might just quickly open it for her, and I'll turn the outside light on so the bugs don't come in. I forget. Okay. It was about 3 weeks ago that this gigantic bug came in right at the end of my drawing session, and I started getting dive bombed by it because I've got the 2 studio lights happening. Now I'm going to start putting the shape of the eyebrows in because I'm starting to sort of like get that shading done there. Well, what's the rules with eyebrows? Not a lot of rules, because everyone's eyebrows are different shapes, different thicknesses. Some are fake, some are real, some have been very well groomed. So really it's just a matter of being able to see where lines and just look at little spaces and just slightly draw in where you think those eyebrows are going to go. She's got very nice eyebrows. Like, for example, that eyebrow has like a little kink in it right on the corner of her eye. So that's a good guideline, knowing that that little kink, that little mountain peak there, is going to happen right at the end of her eye. Whereas on this eye, it isn't. So it's more kind of in line with the white of her eye, and it's really not there. It's almost not there like it is that side. It's more on the top. So just use little things like that when for things like eyebrows, because they just put a little guideline in there. That's what can help you with working out where things go. But if you don't get the eyebrows right, as long as they're kind of right, kind of accurate, you're going to be fine. They're not going to make or break a drawing. I do actually want to try and get the eyebrows, the eyes and the eyebrows all done by tonight. So how am I going with time? 20 minutes left. Yeah, I'll get them done. I'm drawing quite small. This eyebrow, it almost looks like she's plucked her eyebrows a little bit too much on the viewer's right eye. It's going to feel a bit weird starting an eyebrow here. So this is where you use your artistic license and you can edit things, because if it looks weird on your drawing, then people are going to think that you didn't get it right. look at the distance between where her eye ends and where her eyebrow ends as well. So quite a long way away from the eye. And her eyebrows, especially in this photo, are very fair. So we're not going to be doing a great deal of shading before we do the actual hair in the eyebrow. So I don't know if you can, yeah, you can kind of see that. Yeah. All right, so I've just mapped that out there so that I can continue on with 3B, and I'm just going to start doing all these, the toning leading up to the eyebrow, using a 3B pencil very softly. Especially if you've got the kneadable eraser, it is easy to dab away a little bit of light graphite or lighten it up. Oh, I'm so glad Gabby went and turned that TV off. I don't know if you can hear my music at all. But if you can't, I hope you've got some tunes happening yourself. For the, I was going to say for the top of the nose, refer to the black and white copy, which looks very overexposed when I'm showing it under these studio lights. Go to the side a bit, it's a bit better. So I was hoping that there was going to be a bit of definition here, but there's not. It's fairly flat. Okay, so the definition is happening at the top of her, well, at the base of her eyes. We're going to get a little bit of toning happening there, but yeah, the top of her face is fairly light on any tone at all. So I guess just a really, really light shade of pencil, because you've got to put something down. And it will be darker than what the whites of the eyes are. Okay. I haven't done the whites of the eyes on the other eye. I can't remember what pencil I used. I think it was the F. Oh, Daphne. Okay. So I know we've got, yep. So it must be Daphne that's internet's dropping out. Because I do keep seeing that someone keeps dropping out. Sorry about that, Daphne. It's annoying when that happens. This will just automatically go on as a video to watch as soon as the recording has finished. It will just happen instantly. So you can always watch this again. And then eventually I am going to download all these lives, edit them, and then speed them up so that you can actually watch the drawing happen really fast. I don't know if I'll do any voiceover for them at all. It will be more so just to watch, just quickly. For an hour and a half drawing, you should be able to watch it in about 5 minutes. And then that way I can put it onto TikTok and maybe even Facebook. Because it is, if you enjoy drawing and you enjoy if you enjoy drawing and you like art, you like watching people paint or draw. It's just how we are. And but you want it to be a little bit faster than the live is as well. Hang on, I don't want it to do what I want after to be. Watch again. I will keep going tonight as well. Perfect. And Daphne, I'll meet you in June, Wine and Untangle as well, which will be nice. Actually, all three of you that are here. Okay, someone's dropped out again. Oh, I think poor Daphne's having problems. You're all in the June one, which is going to be cool. If you are listening to this and you've got no idea what I'm talking about, I do a paint and sip online called Wine and Untangle, and anyone anywhere in the world can join. You just need to go over to my website, which is in the details at the below of this video, and register. It's $25 for the month, and at the moment there's only two sessions a month, but I will introduce a third, which will be for Australia a daytime session, which will hopefully get some of the international audience. Don't think I'm quite up to a 4 a.m. session just yet for my American audience, but I reckon like a 9 a.m. session for a UK audience will be about 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock for them at night. I reckon we can do that. Ooh, I'm going too dark there. I'm just right here. I've just gone way too dark. Stop looking at my reference photo. So just knock that back with my kneadable eraser. And it's a little bit like putting makeup on. Just taking her makeup off. Now I'll put it back on again. Actually, I probably did go dark enough. I'm such a wuss when it comes to going too dark. I don't want my alarm to scare me either. Oh, I've got 11 minutes left. That's all right. Okay, I've got to go a lot darker here. I think I might go to the 4B. I guess the one little limitation I've got doing this live is that I've got to keep my sketchbook very still. which means I have to move around it. But that's what I've got to do. Just keep looking at your reference photo. To be I really like this jazz music that I'm listening to. It's just a jazz on YouTube. It's really nice. I don't want to be listening to ocean music while I'm drawing because I want to go to the loo. I feel like I'm taking a little bit more time tonight than I was last week. I really did rush it last week because I rushed just jumping online, even just the camera wasn't set up. I can't remember. I think dinner wasn't going as planned, and yeah, it just wasn't a good night. But I'm feeling it tonight. Back to 3B. These pencils that I'm using as well, I do have more of them for the shop. But again, I haven't even photographed these ones. So I just need to photograph them and then chuck them up on the Shopify site so that you can buy them, because I do love to sell everything that I love using. And these ones and a Faber-Castell pencil, which I've got a very old set of them. They're so old that I can't even see what weight they are because all the little the little paint lines have come off them. So I need to, and I don't know if I can buy them individually either. Okay, so I'm going to start heading down under the eye now. And I might have to, I'm not going too far, but I will swap to my black and white just because I need to see. There is just a little bit of shadow, It's a bit hard to see on this one because it's so overexposed. Just under the eye, and I really need the black and white to be able to see that. I think we might have lost Daphne for good this time. It doesn't seem that she's come back. look forward to seeing the photos of how you're going tonight. Mary, you have not been drawing for years, so you will no doubt probably be a little bit rusty. And that is okay, because this is the whole reason why I'm doing these nights, is because I haven't sat and drawn for myself for 25 years. And I miss it. And when we were in design school, we were drawing every week for 4 years. And then life happens, and then for the last 10 years, I've been drawing for the sake of a project for other people, and never just drawing for myself. So that's the whole reason behind tonight, is that this is my time for me just to be drawing again. And the first night is a bit of a shocker. Like, it's fine, but it was a bit of a shocker because it was just 25 years of not having drawn. I was using the wrong pencils and just had to get my groove back. I'm having a look at comments. Oh, so Daphne's here. So, maybe it's because Mary's on the other side that it's, I don't know. I don't get it. Kelly, I like my eyes, but they don't really look like Julia yet. No, neither do mine. Nope. And it's going to be too hard to tell, especially until we put the eyelashes in. That's what I found was really the thing that changed it the other night. And and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I don't like it. But that's the good thing about doing the eyes first. If you're not confident of it, start it again. You just don't want to be starting at 10 times. You got to draw the line somewhere. Take the best of the 10. Never rub anything out, though, or tear anything out. Don't ever tear anything out of a sketchbook. Oh, it makes me cry when I see that people do that, because it's showing your improvement as you go on. God, I've got some absolute shockers in some of my sketchbooks. Embarrassing as, but who cares? There's one of my dog. I was trying to just draw quick sketches of him lying there, and they look horrible. They don't look like a dog at all, but who cares? Okay, I'm really getting a bit scared about. I'm going to use my blending tool for the skin around the face and everything, so that I can, because this paper is quite textured. It's a oh gosh, what is it? It's a bamboo and cotton blend. Very nice, but just does have a little bit of texture to it, a bit of grit, which is beautiful for sketching. But I do want to just smooth it out a bit with, I don't want to go any further down than what I've done there. I want to get the eyebrows done, and my time is going to go off in a minute and a half. But I will stay until I get the eyebrows done. And I spoke for so long to begin with, so we're at 1 hour 9 on the clock. And then so there won't be any class next week because I'm actually away. But when I come back the week after, you're starting, you've got to warm up again. You don't want to just sort of like jump straight into it. Okay, so I'm going to now, I'll go back to my coloured photo. I'm going to now start on the eyebrows. So to do the eyebrows, you can see that it still looks very light on the screen, but you can see where I've mapped out the eyebrows. Her eyebrows in this particular photo are very fair. So you can see a lot of the skin coming through. Whoops, sorry. You can see a lot of the skin coming through the eyebrows. So I am going to just put down, hang on, that was the alarm going off. I am going to put down a little bit of just shading into these eyebrows that is not going to be too much darker than the actual skin colour. So it's almost, I just need it to be so that I can still see where the eyebrows are, because you don't want white underneath the lashes. So that's a real easy part to do, is just to colour in that eyebrow as I have. It looks a bit lighter on screen, and that is just because of the lights, the studio lights. I can't sort of like, what do you call it? I can't have, like, they can either be two lights on or one light, and I've only got one light on each, but they're dimming. That's what I mean. I can't dim them. And I think with just one globe on one side is just going to be too dark. Yeah, it's not going to be light enough. Okay, so you can see where those eyebrows are, and I'm going to leave them ready for eyelashes. Now I'm going to go back to the 2B and just start doing a little bit of skin again up the top here. I don't want to end just above the eyebrow because there is going to be a few loose hairs that go there. Is anyone ahead of me? Because I do draw slow. If you are really ahead of me, perhaps you're drawing too fast. I don't know. Another artist who lives in Toowoomba. We are very, very friendly competition. We have talked about doing a Thursday night together where I invite her on to draw along with me, but she is naturally a very fast drawer. So if you're drawing ahead of me, it's not a bad thing, but it possibly could be that you might be drawing a bit too fast. Don't know. I don't know if you can see. No, you can't. I am just putting a little light layer down above her eyebrows, enough so that I can see it, so that when I do the eyebrows, I know that there's a little bit of pencil underneath them. And they're going to get quite dark around there too. Bear in mind, I'm just drawing in very lightly the side of her face. Oh, the boys are back. TV's going back on. Just lightly drawing in that side of the face there, because all of that skin there is going to be darker. And that bit of eyebrow as well. All right, now how do I feel about my face before I put eyelashes in? I want to darken areas. You've got to be happy with it before you go on to eyelashes, but I do want to do eyelashes tonight. And that side there too. I've got to sharpen this pencil. careful with a sharpened pencil too. It'll be very sharp and it will put definite graphite down. Go very lightly. As it bluntens out, you need to apply a little bit of pressure, but when you've just sharpened it, barely any pressure at all. Okay. TV's back on. Right. I'm probably starting to get a little bit finicky here as well. I'm very much a detailed drawer, so I'm probably starting to just do unnecessary bits. Could really get started on the eyelash area. Doesn't mean you can't keep going, but you don't want to then draw over the top of your eyelashes either, if you can help it. So, with that said, I think I am ready to add the eyelashes. Now, I'll go for, I think, the 4B, and I'll make sure that I'll give it a quick sharpen as well. You want your pencil very sharp for doing hair of any of the hair. And it will really change things too. I'm just going to quickly use my blending stump and just smooth out some of my shading. All right, okay, I'm going to be brave. 4B, I'll just give it a quick sharpen. Now with the eyelashes, do the eyelashes before the eyebrows. The eyebrows can have a little bit of a blunter pencil to them. With your eyelashes, really look at your image again. You'll notice that they are quite dark and quite built up in the corner of both eyes. You get a little bit of lash coming out on this side, not so much on this side. And when you're doing ones here on the inside of the eye, the middle, or sort of towards the nose area, you're kind of doing the Nike tick. So if I do one up here, say that's the eye there. Yeah, here we go. You'll start at the line, go down and come back up, and you do a little Nike tick. You won't do that this side. That one will be more just coming off like that. And by all means, do exactly this on a spare piece of paper and do a little Nike tick. Do this very slowly because it's something that you can't erase. Don't want to scare you, but just take your time with it. Fortunately, with these eyelashes, there's not a lot of definition to them. It's probably because it's a photo of a celebrity and you just can't really get a really high quality image. Maybe even start in these corner ones where you can afford to just do a few little ticks as such. But yeah, in the middle here, you've got to tick down before you tick up. If you know what I mean, if that makes sense at all. And then the ones on the bottom, there's no tick happening, but make sure you don't do it from the eyeball. That's why we had that little bit of skin, the two little lines, which is a little bit hard to see on mine. But I'll just do a few of them, and again, just go really slowly and really scatter them out to start with. Eyelashes is something that it's very hard to erase because it is quite a hard, like you've got to put a little bit of pressure on your pencil. And mascara has kind of plumped them up. I'm just putting some light ones in as well, just because they're there. We just can't see them in the actual image, but they are there. Okay, and of course she's got eyeliner on too, so that does help. I feel like my camera's not really focusing too well. I don't know how well you can see this. But that is pretty much it for that eye. Like, it just doesn't look like there's anything coming that side. I don't think Julia is a very hairy person. So she probably doesn't have a whole lot of eyelash going on. There we go. I'm going to leave that eye there. You can see the difference though that it makes from, I'm trying to get this focus happening. The eye that's got the eyelash and the eye that doesn't, how different it looks. All right, so this one, pretty much exactly the same thing, just the other way, which is a bit hard to get your head around, doing reverse ticks. Probably good to start on the right eye so that you do a tick the normal way. But do make sure that your tick goes down into the eye before it comes back up. I just need to grab that way. Just need to put, so if you're going over the top of a bit of your drawing like I am right now, I have just put a blank piece of paper down so that my hand, the oils on my hand don't start smudging the graphite around, because it definitely will, and you don't want to have a dark smudge area. Can fix it, but you just don't want it. Keep your page clean. I do have a drawing glove as well, which is just a white cotton glove that you cut the index and the thumb holes out of so that you can hold your pencil, but the base of your hand is covered in the soft glove. And Kelly and Mary, you'll be very interested to know that the way I got those gloves was from buying my wetsuit. They came with 2 little soft white cotton gloves, which were hopeless to use putting on a wetsuit. But they were perfect to cut holes in and use for drawing. So I don't know how you can actually buy them otherwise. I've never seen an art supplier sell a drawing glove. Maybe I need to do one. Oh, here we go. I've got to keep looking at my reference. I'm starting to think that I know what I'm drawing. Can you hear that damn footy again? I hope you can't hear the footy. I'm sure you can't. All right. How does that look? She's got that eyeliner on under that eye as well. So that's where I think I was going a bit wrong there. I was trying to thicken up her eyelashes, but it's actually eyeliner. Okay. I'm so much happier with these eyes than I am from last week's, for sure. All right, on to eyebrows. Eyebrows are a bit scary because, especially when they're so fine, like Julia's. So I'm using the 4B. I'm not sharpening my pencil at all. You're basically just doing dashes, but with hers, they are a bit scattered. So you can't just do a big group of them. Keep looking at the reference. As they get out to the sides, it's not as obvious that of the actual hairline. Look at that. Ooh. You could very easily go overboard here on these eyebrows. Okay, I think I should leave that one. I like that. Look at the difference that it makes when you actually put the hair in. Makes all the difference. Does it look like Julia though? I don't know. I can see I've still got to go darker here in this eye though now. It's still way too light. But that's all right. I can do that. Again, just covering that side. Just take your time. You're not doing ticks this time. Doing little dashes. And keep looking back at the other eyebrow as well, making sure that they're a matching pair. We can't give Julia 2 different eyebrows. How's that looking? I don't mind it, but this eyebrow's not thick enough yet. Okay, that's a bit better. All right. So what time are we looking at? Looking at a good hour and 20 minutes roughly. Yep. Hour and 20 minutes to get that much done. That's all right. That's of the drawing time. If I look up here, it's, an hour and 30 minutes. So I must have blabbed on for about 10 minutes before I got drawing. All right, there's plenty more I can do to this, but what I'm going to do, because it's 2 weeks until I'll be doing this again, there is more darkness that I want to do in that eye there. And I'm going to leave that as my warm-up for the next week. So as we go down, I'm going to, for next week, I may, for my warm-up, fill in that eye, make that a little bit darker, make some other areas darker, play around with the eyes a little bit more, but then actually map out the outline of where her hair meets her face, and then gradually go down and most likely get the nose and the mouth done the following in the next session. So outline of the face, nose, mouth. Can't wait to do her teeth because I get to show you how to do teeth again. The other thing that we couldn't see tonight in regards to the proportions of the face is the bottom of the ear is always in line with the bottom of the nose, and the top of the ear, even though we can't see it, is always where the eyebrows are. So when you see an older man, like an 80-year-old man, and he's got really massive ears, just to have a look at where those ears finish and where they start, and dead set, they are always from the top of the eyebrow to the bottom of the nose. How that is, I don't know, but it is. Next time you see an old man with really, really big, long ears, I'm just going to move the camera back onto me again, tired old me. There we go. So who have we got? So it's only saying that I've got 2 of you on, so I'm not sure whether Daphne is here or not, or whether Mary, you are. Well, there were 3 people. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I have no idea how Mary was so clever to get herself on the other side there. Sending a pic, perfect. Please do. Let me see what it's like. So anyone who does draw, oh gosh, I was about to start drawing again. Anyone who does join me live, if you're in Australia, I can send you my mobile number so that you can actually send photos through, or the email address is in the description below as well. So you can always just send me an email, show me your artworks. That's probably easier because time zones and you might not be in Australia. Oh, here we go. Yes. I'll have to have a quick look at it. So thank you. I will end the night here. The description is in, the details are in the description below for the website and the email address. For anyone who is watching this once it goes just onto the normal YouTube. And no drawing next Thursday because I'm actually going to be away. But the Thursday after, I will be back and raring to get back into this drawing of Julia. much happier with what I've done tonight. So thank you for joining me. Make sure you show me your stuff either, girls, I know that you've got my number, so you can send it through or via the email address. And yeah, thanks again, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Night.